everyone. So today we're going to take some time to focus on one way of learning the notes on the low E string. It's a way that I think is fairly simple. It worked for me, and I'm hoping that it works for you too. So what we're going to be focusing on today are the natural notes on the low E string and memorizing those. Before we begin, there's a couple of things we have to understand. So one of which is how our C major scale works. C major has all natural notes, meaning there are no sharps or flats in the scale. And this is a C major scale right up here. Now, there are whole steps between each note except for two notes. There's a half step between E and F and a half step between B and C. The rest of the notes have whole steps between them, okay? So what I want you to try to memorize in your head right now is that there is a half step between E and F and a half step between B and C. So think E to F, half step, B to C, half step, okay? The rest are whole steps. And on guitar, a half step, go ahead and play the note G on the 3rd fret. A half step is up 1 fret or down 1 fret. It's 1 fret movement. So go up a half step. All right, go back to G, go down a half step, you go back 1 fret, go back to G, let's see, go down a half step. All right, back to G, go up a half step. Yeah, you get the idea. Go back to G. Now a whole step is 2 frets movement. So, right? So you gotta count up 2 frets. So go up 2 frets from G, and that'll be a whole step. Yeah, and that gives us A actually. Go back to G. Now go down a whole step. So count down 2, 1, 2. Go back to G. Go up a whole step. Back to G. Go up a whole step. Back to G, go down a whole step. All right, go back to G. So understanding that a half step is 1 fret movement and a whole step is 2 frets movement is going to help you know where these natural notes are and play them on guitar. So what we're going to try to do right now is play all the natural notes on the low E string. We're starting on E. Our half steps are between E and F and B and C. All right? So E to F, we need a half step, that's 1 fret, so there's F. F to G is a whole step, so go up 2. Now we gotta get to A, that's a whole step, go up 2 frets. We need B next, that's a whole step, up 2 frets. B to C, half step, only 1 fret. C to D, whole step, up 2 frets. And then D to E, whole step, up 2 frets. Yeah. Now, if you were to keep going, your next note would be F. You need a half step. Right, there you go. Half step. G would be next. You need a whole step there, and so forth. Go back to E on fret 12. So, it's important when you're playing these natural notes to also play them backwards, so descending. So you'll start at E, and you'll play backwards. So you're still going to want to remember between E and F and B and C is a half step, okay? But it gets a little trickier playing them descending because your brain has to kind of work backwards a bit. So let's do this together. We'll start on fret 12 on E. Let's go to D, that's a whole step. D to C is a whole step. C to B, half step. B to A is a whole step. A to G, whole step. G to F, whole step. And then F to E, half step. And that's just our open string. So what we just played on the fretboard is we played our natural notes on our low E string, ascending and then descending, okay? You can see them right there. Our half steps were between E and F and B and C, so only 1 fret between. Now, a really great exercise for you to do each day as you pick up your guitar before you start playing would be to play these notes ascending, descending, and name them out loud as you do them. Okay, we're gonna do that right now, just as a quick exercise, and I might say some like whole step, half step stuff for the first time through, and then we'll do a couple without. So let's start on our low E, that's our open string, F, 1 half step, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, descending. Okay, we're gonna start on E, whole step to D, whole step to C, half step to B, whole step to A, whole step to G, whole step to F, half step to open E. All right, and those are our natural notes. Now, you might be thinking at this point, well, that's cool when I have to play like a regular A chord or a G chord, but what happens if I see B flat or A flat or G sharp? What do I do then? Now, if you have your natural notes memorized, you can find those quicker. Okay, so if you're playing some music and you see a B flat chord, you know that B is on the 7th fret, or you can at least name your notes E, F, G, A, B. There's B. So to make it B flat, you'd move it down 1/2 step, and it becomes a flat. So that's B flat. Same thing is true if you needed to play G flat. Find G, here's E, F, here's G. Move it down 1/2 step, and it becomes G flat. Now a sharp chord is raised, or a sharp note is raised 1/2 step. So if you saw G sharp, for instance, find G, here's E, F, here's G, go up 1/2 step, there's G sharp. What if you had C sharp? Alright, so let's find C, E, F, G, A, B, there's C. I can move that up 1/2 step, there's C sharp, right? So if you know these natural notes, you can find your sharp or flats, okay, on the fretboard. Having them memorized is the key, just knowing like this is A, this is C, this is D, B, G, F, and so forth, right? And once you have those memorized, and as you start finding like where the flats are at from your natural notes, you'll have those memorized eventually too. You won't have to think about it, right? And that's really what we're going for. So let's do that exercise again. We're gonna do the exercise and name the notes as we play them. This is what I'm saying would be a good idea to do each day, to really memorize these notes on the fretboard. And just to have you look at this again, this is what we're doing. We're playing up our natural notes on our low E, and then back down the natural notes on the low E. Half steps between B and C, and E and F. So starting on E, open E, here we go. Let's give it a try. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Descending, play E, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. Nice. Now, there is something to that. Saying the notes out loud really helps you memorize these, so I'd recommend doing that. You know, you might feel a little weird saying the notes as you play them, but it's going to help you memorize these in the long run. Let's do this one more time. Here we go. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, descending, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. And that's all there is to it. So do that exercise a little bit each day, and you'll start to memorize your notes on your low E string. Tomorrow we'll do an exercise to kind of help us along with this, but we'll probably put a chord to those roots. So I will see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.